everyone. Welcome to the Trending Living podcast. My name is Dillis and I'm your host. And today we'll be having an interesting conversation about hustle culture and soft life. I'm very much soft life, as you guys can see, and I'm not even ashamed of that. But today I have Mimi and Gray. Inside information, Gray is an architect. Mimi works with United Nations, but I'm not supposed to say it. But then they'll briefly introduce themselves before we get right into it. So, Gray.
My name is Victor.
Yeah, Gray.
Everybody else calls me Gray, but it's fine.
Okay, you tell us.
I'm an architect, and I do a lot of other things as well.
Like what?
Like trade, procurement, logistics, anything that puts food on my table and the table of my cats. So.
Interesting.
Mimi?
Well, I am a humanitarian. I also work with a veterinary, and I do other things on the side.
Okay, I thought you even worked with the UN, or you're a fellow, right?
Yes, I did.
And what happened with that?
Nothing happened. I still do a thing or two for them sometimes.
Please, you have big people in the house, okay? You're not small players. So we are just going to do something fun, an icebreaker just to get us warm.
Okay.
And then we get right into the topic. So on today's discussion is hustle life versus, soft life.
Okay.
So the first question is that would you rather start your day with an intense workout at 5 a.m. or enjoy breakfast and start work at 10 a.m.?
I'll go for the latter because I'm not much of a morning person.
Oh, really? What about you, Gray?
Maybe I'll do a workout.
You're lying.
Because I want to be a macho man. So I think that's, yeah.
Gray, you and I know that workout is not in
I
your...
would.
Sure?
If it was an option, yes, I would.
Me, I would be...
Well, I prefer workouts after the day, not at the beginning.
Yeah, I think that one is even much more relaxing. In the morning, you're so tired. What are you
Sorry,
going to do at work?
I can't relate, but workout just seems to...
Okay, so the second question, would you rather have a job that lets you work in your pajamas from home or a job that with a fun environment where you can get to dress up and meet with other co-workers? Gray, what would you choose?
I like attention. I want everybody to notice my new shoes, so the latter, definitely.
Okay, what about you?
Well, I do like a hybrid. That's because I enjoy dressing up, but also sometimes I just do not want to go out. So.
Yeah, I think I would enjoy the first one more. I really want to be in my pajamas. Like, I don't care about the other people. Just let me work from home.
Right.
So the third question, would you rather attend a networking event in a fancy location or a casual hangout with friends at a cozy cafe?
Casual hangouts with friends at a cozy cafe. I mean, I need that energy. I don't need to now come and be forming for networking sessions.
I don't know. They scare me so much. And I don't know what it is about them. It's like everybody is so high and mighty. And it's like you have to talk in a certain way.
Please, I just want to be at ease and unwind
like,
with my friends.
Sell yourself like, oh, I work in a law firm. I do this, I do that. But yeah. How about you, Gray?
I want to be forming at a networking session. Definitely.
Yeah, so controversial.
No,
so what about networking makes you happy?
I'm a stories person. I love to hear what people have been through, especially entrepreneurs in their journey, and I love to basically meet new people and tell people my story and hear this as well.
So okay, so just a quick tip to someone who is listening who wants to do like networking. What should the first thing do? What's the first thing the person should do?
Appear like you can handle $1 million.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
And how would you go about that?
Google how millionaires look like, how they dress, and appear like that.
Okay, that's a good one.
That's the first thing. Presentation marries price. So you have to look like you're worth it, basically. So,
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so the fifth question. So the fourth question actually. Would you rather receive a big bonus for your hard work or extra vacation days to relax and recharge?
Please, I like my bonuses. I can go where I want to go and buy what I want to buy. Don't come and be choosing vacations for me. I want my bonus.
You need the money. What about you, Gray?
The only thing I had was bonus. So we're sticking with bonus.
I mean, yeah, in this economy, I think money is always important.
Bonus is king.
Yeah. Would you rather spend a lazy Sunday binge with watching your favorite shows or exploring a new hobby?
Binge watching.
Yeah, I think I would like that too. How about you, Gray?
I thought we were similar, but she's just proven to be the direct opposite. I'd definitely explore new talents, new activities. Yeah.
So which one have you done recently?
Horse riding.
Okay.
I love horses. I love to paint horses, but actually to get on one was quite a challenge until I actually tried. It was fun.
Yeah, it is fun to ride horses. I don't know if I remember. Back in my junior high school, we used to have horse riding on Fridays.
We can't relate. Sorry.
Yeah, we can't relate.
Yeah, sorry. We can't relate.
Okay, so the last question. Would you rather work 4 days, 4 intense days, and have 3 days off? Or shorter work days with less intense hours?
I want my intense day so I can have my free days unbothered.
So that means Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Age. Okay. What about you? So okay, same thing. I'm not even going to go further.
No, don't go there.
Okay, so now that we are warm, I want us to talk about your story, getting into that form of hustling life, how you got into the work you do and what even, drove you into that. If you could just tell us.
So for me, I do quite a lot of things, but I think right after school, after service, I wasn't quite getting a job, but I wasn't one to just sit at home and then wallow time. So during service, I think I made quite the impression. So after service, I was still with the organization I was with, although I wasn't being paid. I was giving some allowances, which I was managing. But then I also know I can do other things like public speaking. So I ventured into that and I got a few gigs from there. And then I did modeling. So I got a few gigs from there as well. And then a friend had started a social enterprise and she was like, "You've been doing things like these on the side. I see you volunteer for a lot of these things. So I want you to be a part of my team." So I also joined in that and I got to meet a lot of people. So in that way, the networking doesn't have to seem forced. You actually do build genuine connections while on the job or while doing what you love. So for me, that's how I navigated the period where I didn't have an actual job to feed me, with the petty things that will be coming in every now and then to both satisfy my lifestyle in the moment and also keep me afloat, because it can be very depressing when you're at home and your colleagues are getting into schools. For those that are feathering, some of them are also getting jobs and you're just seated at home doing nothing. It can be really, really depressing. And I didn't want to be that. I didn't want to face that.
Yeah, exactly. I know you joined Miss Malika at some point.
Yes,
was it
I did.
Before
it was during my service year.
Okay, so tell us about that too.
Okay, so I think I've had a knack for beauty pageants since.
I mean, look at you right now.
I think
Absolutely
since senior high
gorgeous.
school. Thank you. Since senior high school. So after university, I was like, okay. And it will interest you to know the day I went for the Miss Malika audition, I had gone for, because I was working at the veterinary, I had gone for a rabies vaccination shot, like an immune booster. And you mostly get side effects. And that was my second shot. And I was feeling very woozy and very uncomfortable, but I still went into that audition room and nailed it. And if I should have told you I wasn't feeling well and you saw that audition, you would not believe it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I wasn't even sure if I'll go for that audition that very day. I'm like, okay, let me go do this. So I went in and I think I made it to the finalist cut. I think we were 25 or 28.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made it and I didn't go beyond.
I mean, you did really, really well. Like, I watched your progress and it was amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, so great. What about you? What is your story? Is the way you're quiet for me right now? Now I'm
just
intrigued.
listening. I've always wanted to be an architect. Earliest memory of that was when I was 6. Yeah, 6 years old.
At 6 years.
Yeah, I was a baby. And I drew the plan of the house that we lived in.
Mm-hmm.
And then my mom took me to the architect that designed the building and said, look at what he did. And he looked at it and he looked at me and was like, that can't be right. So then he took a liking to me, and I used to go to his house often, just sit around, watch him work. So I've known no other, well, apart from art and the love of landscapes.
Love letters together.
No.
Okay, before you continue, tell us about that part.
That slope. That part where what?
You used to design letters for guys.
Well, I've always had a thing for art, So back in school, when we needed to feed ourselves, and I'm a little bit of a poet as well. So I used to do the designs on the paper and then, do some poetry for the boys to score marks, you know what I mean? Yeah, so that's how I fed myself basically in high school. But always with the aim and intention to be an architect and a designer as well. I did have a little bit of fashion design in my background growing up because my mom was into that as well. So she used to do the local tie-dye, export the material, finished shirts and dresses. So I had a thing for tailoring as well. But I knew that architecture was like my main focus.
Yeah.
So right through school to university, and guess who was the dean of the architecture school when I got there? The very man who introduced me. Yeah, so
it was easy for you.
Oh, yeah.
Everything was aligning.
Yeah, shout outs to Esso if you're listening.
Okay.
So, and then I came out and I searched and I found where I wanted to work. Actually, I started interning when I was in first year.
Okay.
So by the time I was done with university, I already had 6 years working experience. So I was eons ahead of my peers, and it was even evident in school sometimes. Anywho, so I came out of school. I went back to the firm that I interned at, did another 4 years, bloody intensive 4 years. Feels like 8. Because I had gray hairs in my beard at the time.
Yeah.
You remember that? Yeah, I was all gray,
Yeah.
So I did it. And basically, that's been my journey. I did double in a few other things to just excite myself because architecture is a little stressful.
Yeah, no, it's very, very stressful. I used to see you guys stay up till midnight.
It's not a pleasant feeling when Dillis is just on her bed chilling and I'm carrying... I'm carrying stress.
Till dawn, people.
No. But it was fun. I loved every single part of it, yes.
All right. So, yes, you got your life figured out. But walk us through the part where you realize that, no, you have to build something for yourself. Because I know at a point you had to venture into being a sole proprietor or a freelancer.
So... I've always been the ambitious one, maybe overly ambitious. I've always wanted things that are bigger than I am, quite evident in a few ladies I've dated, if I may. And, yeah. I mean, if you're watching, shout out. And so I've always been one for bigger dreams. I mean, dreams that maybe are unattainable to the regular Joes around, but they're things that I wanted. So when I got into my first job after uni, the plan was to do 4 years and just take a dive into what it is that could be. So 1st July last year, 2023, I wrote my resignation letter, and I had no money in my account actually, and that because we spoke. Yeah, it was such a risk. So I wrote it, and I looked at it, and I was like, man, am I really going to do this?
But what made you write? What what really did you consider?
So, to be honest, I had about a year and a half of serious internal conflicts and, about what the future held for me and whether or not I was doing the right thing. Considering my age as well, I made myself promises when I was growing up that, look, you're going to be your own boss by 30. And I was only 30 in a few months. So it was crashing down on me and there was a lot of pressure. So I just decided, look, let's take the first bold step, which is resigning. And it was painful for me because I love my boss. We have a very, very, very good relationship even after we split paths. So it was hard for me, and it was hard for him as well, and a few other people in the company, but what needed to be done had to be done. So I moved with, I think, 800 CDs in my account at the time.
Last year.
Yeah. And, shout out again to all the faithful female friends that stood by me in those times. We broke off, and to the grace of God, 2 days after, I landed a pretty good contract that carried me for about 8 months. So paid me for about 8 months. And then it was more stressful, I found out, than having a regular 9 to 5. Because when you do a 9 to 5, you can switch off. After work, you switch off. On the weekends, you switch off. You don't pick work calls because there's nothing at stake for you.
I know.
So, but now it's like 24/24. Like, I'm on site on Sunday morning and doing online service or the other, you don't sleep because it's your food. You mess around and you're hungry. So it was stressful, but to the glory of God, we're still here, we're still going, and we're still looking good.
Yeah. What about you?
Like, well, for me, unlike Gray, who knew what he wanted to do at age 6? You said?
Yeah.
Did you say age 6?
Yeah, I said 6.
You're part of God's favorite. Some of us are still figuring it out because although I know I love certain things and I have given myself the opportunity to immerse myself in those things, I'm still in my self-discovery phase, and I'm realizing, okay, although I thought I did find interest in these things, I have ventured into it and I realized, no, it's not for me. So I'm still discovering the other things I have interest in, just to be certain this is something I want to do for the long haul or not. And like I'm saying, I know I've always loved animals. As to me pursuing a career in that, I never quite thought about it. But then the opportunity came and I'm like, oh yeah, there are some things about my job I like, and there are certain things I do not like. Currently, I can't say if I'm going to do this.
Are watching.
If I'm going to do this for the long haul. But I definitely do know that I'm still pursuing other things I'm interested in. And by that, like he's saying, for a 9 to 5, you can say, oh yeah, I'm shutting off after these periods of time or during the weekend. That's fine in your case. But when you're working in the health sector, it's not like that. You can be called on a weekend to come in. You can be called on a holiday. I think Monday's a holiday. I'm going to work. So, I mean, So despite all of that, I still try as much as possible to factor the things I am interested in into it. Because of that, sometimes even during the week where I have to go to work and I get a gig, because I do not want my entire life to revolve around just what my 9 to 5 is about. Sometimes I discuss with my superiors and I tell them, okay, so this is associated some kind of way and I'm interested. Can I get a day off to do that? Sometimes I'm given, sometimes I'm not. And when I'm given, I'm very grateful because I still get to pursue something I like. And when I'm not given, I still try and find avenues by which I can help. Sometimes by even replacing myself with someone I know can equally do the job. And to everyone out there, it's fine to recommend your friends sometimes, even if you know you're also good for the job. We all need to survive. We all need to eat. So, I mean, if it gets to that point and I have to recommend someone I know, I do so because I can't make it and the people are hoping I can make it. So if I give them a recommendation, they trust my word for it and hopefully the person. So also when you're going to deliver, make sure you deliver your best because you're putting my name on the line as well for recommending you.
Exactly.
So yeah, I do those things. And on weekends, I mean, you called me earlier in the week for something abrupt.
Yes.
And I for something abrupt and I just picked it up. I was just going through my head and I was like, this weekend I do not have work. Although I was hoping to relax at home and do a few chores. I think it's also a chance for me to exploit something I like to do, and that's public speaking. So hey, why not? So sometimes you do have to make those kind of sacrifices. It will not come in easy all the time, not on a silver platter. But when it does come on a silver platter, make sure it's worthwhile. Because you look back and it would inform your next move. And when we talk about our next moves, I mean, at this point in time, I want to further my education, but I don't think I'm in a place where I can totally quit work and just go to school. Because I mean, the economy is economy. And some of us have started living very independent lives from our families. So you really do need that balance. And rent in Accra is not smiling.
It has never been smiling.
Oh, so I mean, I do want to do some things, but I have tried and I'm realizing, it's not going to be easy. But hey, who says the journey was going to be easy? You're meant to rather be built stronger to handle that journey.
Okay.
So it's not been easy, but I'm on it.
So on that last statement, would you prefer the hassle life over soft life? So it's soft life and hassle life. Which one would you prefer?
Everything they hear on this life, you need balance. So the hassle life is to be able to afford you the comforts of your soft life. So I think it's important to have both. So with me, when my friends call me out, I have this particular friend. She always wants to try out the newest and nicest place in Accra, but always on the budget.
Yes.
She's always sending me things in my IG DMs. We need to check this place out.
I mean, they are very, very important.
Yeah, and it's also good for your mental health. I mean, I was seeing a psychologist at some point in time, and sometimes to regulate your moods, I was told to have a pleasure timetable. And in the pleasure timetable, outing a spa, doing things that would make you happy and lighten your moods is good because it's good for your mental health. And your mental health also speaks to your overall health.
Exactly.
So once that is good, your entire body will be up and working. So she's consistently plugging me to places we can go and have fun, even if it's just to sing or just play around. Just because we need that balance. So you need the hassle life to be able to afford the soft life. It's important.
Okay. And Gray, what about you?
I'm being educated here.
Okay, so what was your previous stance on this? Were you team soft life or team hassle?
I don't know what soft life is. So yeah.
That a boy like you.
No. Because I grew up in a house where my father was always at work. So the mental picture that was painted in my head about a man is someone who gets up in the morning, leaves the house, break his back, come back, see his kids and sleep. So in my mind, that's what it is to be a man. So growing up, there wasn't a lot of exposure to pleasure. You know, growing up, I thought life was to get out of school, get a job, work, settle down, have kids, work, take them through school, and work some more. So
work.
Yeah. So the concept of soft life, when I first heard it last year, was a little bit disturbing to me.
Why was it disturbing?
I don't know, because I was just not used to it.
You felt they were very unserious. That's.
I don't want to judge behind the camera, but
no, your eyes are.
Yeah. So I kind of do agree with what Michaela said. You work hard to be able to afford the kind of pleasures that you desire.
Okay. So the very last question is, do you think the hustle culture is healthy? Do you think that, what we do at the end of the day, does it, inure to our benefit, or, has things changed, over time?
Honestly, it's not healthy. That's why we need to find means and ways to have the work-life balance. So I know I really work hard. Sometimes I'm mostly stressed. I get a migraine, but I still need to go to work. In fact, sometimes my bosses and my colleagues even say, like, they can clearly see that I'm stressed out to the core. But you need to go because, hey, if you slack a little bit, you fall underneath the poverty line.
Very, very
So-
down below.
So yeah, you need to keep going, but
Mm.
it's not a walk in the park. It's hard. The hustle life is hard. Also because we have an economic meltdown, not just in Ghana but also globally. So looking at other
I'm
things
more
that would,
serious in Ghana though.
yeah, I'm more serious in Ghana, I agree. So looking at other things like investments that can also help substitute so that sometimes you can actually take a break. Because unlike him, that was comfortable enough to just leave his job with 800 CDs in his account. I doubt I would have had that courage to do so. So I
Exactly.
applaud you for that.
Yeah.
I think I'll need much more standing because what if I leave my job and I do not get a job instantly and my rent is due in 6 months? I should be able to afford my rent and then petty things that will feed me in an interim until I get a job. So for him, like I'm saying, I really applaud him, but I don't think I would have that much courage to do that
Correct.
until I know I have another springboard to fall on. So the hustle life is not a good one for us. It's really stresses and strains us out that we do not even get to discover ourselves. We are always focused on the hard life that we sometimes we don't even know what is wrong with us until we take a leap back or our body tells us something is wrong. Then afterwards, when you're casting your mind back and doing some reflections, you realize it's because you've been too hard on yourself and too focused on work. You miss out on family. You miss out on yourself. You even miss out on certain things that used to be of interest to you. And that shouldn't be the case.
Yeah, amazing. What about you, Gray?
I'm of a very different opinion.
Okay, let's hear it.
So, there's a purpose. There's an individual purpose. There's a goal for me. And it's time bound. That means that I need to step out of my comfort zone and just do it, no matter what it takes. Here's the fun thing. You would have to find a very fine balance between breaking your back to achieve your goals and resting your body. It's a lesson I learned early last year. After about 2 months, I had very little sleep. And I went into a very deep health spiral. Like, all my test results came out. There's absolutely nothing wrong with me. And the doctor said, you know what, take a few days off. And I had a chat with a few of my doctor friends, and they're like, plan this. You can work this much. If you work this much, you need this much rest. You know, if you do this much, you need a getaway. So I think that every entrepreneur has to have a very structured playtime and work time. You know, and the most important thing is not to lose focus on the most important things in life. Your relationships, your family, your health especially, and all other things. Because to be honest, a lot of entrepreneurs my age are in there forgetting that they are running out of time. You know, you need to build a family, you need to settle down, you need to do other things that are equally important. So hustle life for me, yes, hustle life over everything. But especially if you have a target, if you're ambitious and you need to achieve what you have to achieve in a limited period of time, you need to hustle. But most importantly, take good care of yourself, because if you're dead, there's no achieving your goals.
Wow. So hustle culture, not healthy. Hustle culture, very healthy. Guys, let us know what you think in the comments box. Thank you so much, my
Thank you
guest.
for having
It was
us.
an amazing conversation with you guys.
It was.